Nothing is wrong with your income. What tends to hurt salary earners the most are small money habits that repeat every month, almost quietly. And most people don't notice until years have passed. You can understand money on paper. You can even know the basics. You can feel like you're doing things right. And still, money never quite settles. Not because of one big mistake, but because of patterns that slowly become normal and quietly expensive. That gap between knowing and living with money is where financial literacy actually begins. So in this video, these are easy habits that can make someone feel outrageously financially literate in 2026. Not things that require a finance degree, not hours of time, just practical habits that can start today. Habit 1. Match your money with your priorities. This one tends to be the most important, because for a lot of people, money ends up going to things that don't actually matter to them, but felt like they should matter. It's the kind of spending that looks normal from the outside. Buying things you don't really use. Doing expensive outings because everyone else is doing it. Spending on things that barely add anything to your life. But it felt like that's what you're meant to do, and the quiet truth is, money usually reflects what life drifts toward, not what you truly care about, unless you steer it. So one simple exercise that changes everything is this. You write down your top 5 priorities in life. Things like quality time with people you love, health, learning new skills, freedom, and then you look at where your money has actually been going in the last 30 days. Not with guilt, just with honesty. And most times, there's a gap. Because maybe your priorities are health and growth, but your spending is mostly convenience and impulse. Once that gap becomes visible, something shifts. Money starts feeling more intentional. And weirdly, people often feel richer, even if they spend the same amount, because now the spending matches the life.
Actually happen. Habit 3. Automate the basics. Automation is one of those habits that doesn't feel exciting, but it creates real peace, because remembering to transfer savings, pay bills manually, stay on top of subscriptions, it's not hard, it's just mentally heavy. And when something is boring, people tend to delay it. So the idea is simple. Let fixed expenses leave automatically after payday. Let savings move automatically each month into a separate account. Let recurring subscriptions run on autopilot. Because automation removes willpower from the equation. It's like making the decision once, and then letting the system carry it after that. And what it frees up is mental space. You're not constantly thinking, did I transfer money? Did I pay that bill? When is it due? Even one automation can feel like relief. Habit 4. Start investing small early. Starting early, even with small amounts, is one of the biggest drivers of long-term wealth. Not because the amount is huge, but because time is doing the heavy lifting. Index funds that track entire markets often get mentioned here because they're simple. They're not about trying to be clever, and what matters more than perfection is simply starting with what's realistic. Because for most people, waiting until they feel ready can quietly cost years. Habit 5. Learn one thing and implement it that day. This habit is simple, but rare. When someone watches a video like this, or reads an article, or hears a podcast, the difference isn't what they learn, it's what they implement. Because a lot of people consume money content for months, sometimes years, and nothing changes. They feel productive because they're learning. They nod along. Then life continues. So the habit is one takeaway and one action that same day. If it's a better savings account, open it. If it's a budgeting method, set it up that evening. If it's an investing idea, spend 20 minutes checking whether it fits your life. It doesn't have to be huge. Sometimes it's checking your credit score. Sometimes it's updating your CV because that's connected to future earnings. Sometimes it's increasing a pension contribution by 1%. Small actions. consistently, are what create real financial literacy. Habit 6. Don't hide from talking about money. A lot of people feel uncomfortable talking about money. With friends, with family, even with a partner. It feels private, almost taboo. But the reality is, many people don't talk about money, even though they believe it's important for financial freedom and generational wealth. That disconnect is common. And what changes things is having genuine conversations. Not in a show-off way, not competitive. More like learning out loud with people you trust. Sometimes it's asking what investing platforms someone uses. Sometimes it's sharing goals with a partner. Sometimes it's understanding salary ranges at work. And what surprises people is a lot of others are willing to talk about money too, if it's approached with respect. Even a small opener can change things. I've been thinking about my budget lately. How do you manage yours? It's not about sharing exact numbers. It's about breaking the silence, because the more money becomes discussable, the less alone it feels. Habit 7. Reframe for long-term gratification. This one is more mindset than action, but it's foundational, because life is built for instant gratification. If you want something, order it now. If you're hungry, food in 20 minutes. If you're bored, endless entertainment. Wealth building is the opposite. It's playing the long game, making choices today that your future self will thank you for. And early on, it can feel uncomfortable watching money leave your account for investing, knowing you're not meant to touch it for years. So one helpful reframe is this. Instead of seeing delayed gratification as sacrifice, it starts looking like a gift to your future self. Every amount invested is buying freedom, options, security. Even skipping an impulse purchase becomes a way of paying your future self. Some people visualize their future self, not in an abstract way, but as a real person living a real life 5 or 10 years ahead. And then the question becomes, what does that version of me need? And what would they thank me for doing today? When it's framed like that, it doesn't feel like deprivation. It starts feeling like self-respect. Habit 8. Spend money on a skill. This habit feels like spending, but it's actually investing. Because one of the best investments someone can make isn't only stocks or property. It's skills, knowledge, capabilities. Skills increase earning power, often permanently. Even something like a course, a book, or hiring someone to teach a specific thing for 1 hour can create returns for years. The key is intentionality, not buying random courses and never finishing them, but choosing skills that genuinely move the needle for where you want to go. A simple rule is, if you can clearly explain how a skill will benefit you, it's worth considering. If you can't articulate the benefit, it's usually not. Because economies can crash, investments can drop, companies can fail. But skills stay with you. So those are habits that can quietly improve financial literacy. It's not about becoming perfect with money. It's more like noticing patterns and making small decisions differently. And for anyone watching this, thinking, I know there's more out there for me, and I need to make new decisions with money. That voice is usually worth listening to, because getting money aligned with priorities and values can change the quality of life, not through huge dramatic moves, but through steady, simple shifts that compound.